Waka Flocka is a damn fool, and we need to talk about it. It's time for our Icon City News. In your favorite city, getting big money, Saturday, Sunday, even though it's Monday, fuck with me, every day be a Monday. Now I ain't gotta sell it 'cause you already see it, the way you want it, I can tell that you need it, boy. It's on you, like, yeah, it's on you, like, I don't even know what, happy Monday. I hope you guys had a happy holiday. I don't even know what time of day this is right now, but I just want to say hey and hello and stuff. Now I'm gonna get into the Waka thing in a second, but I hope you had a happy 4th of July or whatever. I had a good time. I went to a Black Gay Pride kickoff, which, I mean, bless their hearts. They do, they do what they can out here, but, coming from Atlanta or whatever, it's kind of like, okay, it's not really a Black Gay Pride. Like, a Black Gay Pride is like, it's basically, a regular Pride just with like a lot of Black people. Here, and I've went a couple of times, and here it's more like it's just like a club night. It's just a club night or whatever, and it, it's crazy or whatever. I mean, it's nice if, because it's really hard, to go out to WeHo, that's the gay neighborhood here. It's hard to go out there and then hear some good music. Like, everything is always like the boom, bada boom, bada boom, 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 kind of stuff like that. And, nothing against people who like that kind of music or whatever, but, some of us like a little, 808, some hip hop situations and whatnot, and they don't really have that. But shout out to the people of, I think it's Ivan Daniels, I think that's his name, and AHH for, that's the AIDS Health Foundation, for putting that event on. So it was cute. Also, thank you for the people that reached out and asked if I was okay regarding the earthquakes that we had. While I did feel both of them, and it was like interesting, like, so that was the second and third earthquake I've ever felt here, but it happened like about 150 miles away from LA. And although I'm thinking about leaving LA, it's not the earthquakes that'll make me do it. And I'll get into that in a little bit, but I'm safe, I'm okay. Thank you. So anyway, let me get into this whole Waka Flocka situation. So here's the deal, right? Like, I really try as hard as I can to, be understanding of, people who aren't like me or whatever, straight people or whatnot and what have you. And and I understand, particularly, heterosexual Black men that, they be having a hard time out here and stuff. And, I want to, I know that it's, there's a lot of privilege, that comes with being, an articulate, Black gay man, some privilege that, that I don't think that we often talk about. So I kind of like to honor the privilege, but, some people I've actually, gotten some hate mail from you guys from, when I stand up for, certain people in their comments, or when I was basically, trying to say that we should hold, Jussie Smollett accountable for that whole fiasco and stuff. And so I try to be fair and I try to keep it real, but sometimes people just say some ignorant shit, and this is an example of it. Okay, so this is what happened, right? So Waka Flocka, he at the airport and stuff, and somebody walks up to him and tell him he cute. Now, I mean, you ain't You ain't Jay-Z cute, nigga. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you alright, dog. And not to mention, okay, I'm gonna get into my reasonings later, but just take a look at this idiot.
I don't know who Buddy was in that airport. I understand y'all folk got y'all money and all that. But look, got nothing against nobody's sexual preference. Nothing, but look, I ain't with that. So don't approach me, don't be having too many compliments and doing all the extra shit. Cause it's disrespectful and it's out of pocket for you to I went your local.
He with the local shooter, and I'ma shoot you. Let's steal a nigga's soul from him like I was a booster.
He didn't even look that old.
It's that simple.
Like, I want to be all like, you know, Black Lives Matter, and I think the way that they conquer and divide this community is crazy. But when you have people out here saying stuff like this, then, you know, like, you know, how am I supposed to feel? How are we as a community supposed to feel? You know what I'm saying? But you know what? I'm gonna put it this way. Waka Flocka don't speak for the community. I mean, you know, his record sales like indicate that or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you doing this love and hip hop stuff because, you know, your music ain't, you know, all of that or whatever. And, you know, you mad. And, you know, maybe if, you know, you worried about, you know, getting in that studio and like, you know, making some music that people want to hear, you wouldn't be so worried about, getting a compliment, like a freaking compliment. Like people compliment people all the time. Like you would really shoot somebody. Is that serious? You know, that you would have someone die over a goddamn compliment? Like you not that cute, bro. That's the main thing. You not. And, it's just always some ugly people like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it reminds me, I used to have this, like, call center job, right? And, like, this man had to be, like, maybe 10, 15, maybe even 20 years older than me. You know, old busted type or whatever. You know, holes in the knee-high type ass, crusty lipped ass motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, you know, just dazing off or something. And, you know, like, he, like, wanted to come at me like I was, like, looking at him crazy or something like that. Like, looking at him like I wanted him or whatever. And, like, you gotta understand that, you know, just because somebody gay don't mean that they want you or whatever. So anyway, you know, fuck that nigga. Fuck his whole life. You know, fuck the local shooter too. Fuck all of that, and moving on. But speaking of like sexuality and everything like that, so I've been watching this show, Are You the One? Are You the One? It comes on MTV. It kind of got this like real world type kind of vibe to it or whatever. Whole bunch of strangers in the house or whatever. It's like a dating show. What makes this dating show interesting is that everybody on the show is bisexual. And so I'm about 3 episodes in. And, you know, I mean, we did a whole, you know, article and stuff on Icon City News or whatever, you know, shouting out the show. And we, like, want them to do well and everything. But I couldn't help but be struck by the idea that the casting is like not realistic. And then I also need to hear from more women who are open to, you know, dating bi men. And because I know a lot of bi women that aren't into dating, you know, men who have been with men. And so even if they're bi, you know, and so it just seemed like a little unrealistic. And then to that point, like the guys are all kind of like, you know, it seems like they had trouble finding, you know, and I don't know, you know, like I don't be like chasing trade or nothing like that, but it seems like they couldn't find like any kind of like masculine guys, you know, to I guess be open about being bisexual on the show or whatever. Which is fine. I just don't think it's like a realistic, you know, depiction. But I am following my favorite. My favorite of the show is Bassett. Bassett is, or Bassett, I might be getting it wrong. Anyway, he's fierce, he's super androgynous, and I'm just very curious as to know who he's going to end up with. Currently, he is in talks with one of the girls. He's in talks with one like a biological cisgendered female. Then he's but he has like real strong feelings for an almost equally androgynous guy on the show named Jonathan. And so, but you know, I'm just like really curious because like the politics of, you know, like, cause on the show they're supposed to be matching you up, and you have to ideally end up with the person that they select for you if you want to win the money. But you don't know who they selected for you until you go through all these tasks, and they have these kind of like not elimination ceremonies, but these like end of show ceremonies and stuff like that. Anyway, it's Are You the One? It's on MTV. Check your local listings for that information. I'm still mad about the whole Waka Flocka thing. Like, okay, so all right, let's talk about some politics. Let's, you know, he needs to apologize. That's what he needs to do. And what I am glad is that, you know, and hopefully he will, and realize like the error of his ways, and like, you know, not just on some like for his endorsements or anything like that, but just, you know, for like the role model and for the type of person that he's trying to be. Because if I remember correctly, I remember him trying to do some whole rebranding about how he was supposed to be trying to be woke and with the times and all that kind of stuff. So if he's not, you know, I don't know, I just pray for him. But anyway, someone did apologize. That is Joe Biden, after Kamala Harris wiped the damn floor with his ass at the last presidential debate. He has finally apologized for, you know, basically, I guess he was trying to say that he was he was trying to explain, you know, how he had to compromise and work with all different types of people. And I think that's supposed to be his selling point, considering how divided the country is. And he's supposed to be bringing, you know, possibly, you know, some of those people who voted for Obama but then turned around and voted for Trump. He's supposed to be bringing those people back into the fold. You know, honestly, it just came across like he was, you know, celebrating white supremacists and stuff. And so, you know, Kamala Harris, she took that as an opportunity and, you know, and got herself some press. And now, you know, he's finally apologized for that part, for the part about the dealing with the white supremacists. He hasn't said anything about the busing. Well, not that he hasn't said anything, but he hasn't apologized about supporting busing and stuff like that. And, you know, he's, you know, poor guy, he's stuck between a rock and a hard place because, you know, I mean, I understand there's a wisdom, conventional wisdom that, you know, Trump is somebody that doesn't really apologize. And so you want to fight fire with fire. And so, you know, that you don't want somebody that's going to apologize as well. But I think a lot of the country just wants something different. And, you know, I think what the problem may end up being for Biden is that he's just not different enough from Trump. So anyways, that's that. Quickly, I'm about to get out of here. I did want to tell y'all why I'm thinking about moving out of LA, but first, let me give a shout out to the Unleashed Voices. The Unleashed Voices, they gave me a little shout out in a magazine. I'm really appreciative of that. So make sure you check them out. They were shouting out my new song, Clocked In. So shout out to the Unleashed Voice. They also did some features on some other Icon City, you know, affiliate artists like Mark Angel, and Shorty Rock. So congratulations to them and their new projects. You know, but we're going to be celebrating them all year round because it's Pride 365. All right, so anyways, leaving LA. So it just occurred to me that honestly, you know, and like I said before, it's not even the earthquakes or anything, but like this place is just getting is getting so crowded. And as I'm getting older, I'm just thinking about all of these things. And I moved out here, you know, basically for gay marriage and legal marijuana, but that's like half of the country now. So it's like, I mean, I don't know, I'll be missing the East Coast. I miss the food and stuff. And like, don't get me wrong, I love my LA people. I love my Cali lifestyle. But I just think for the country as a whole, we need to start mixing it up and stuff. So I think like a lot of liberals or progressives or, you know, whatever you want to call yourself, like I think more need to be going out into rural areas and, you know, just mixing it up and stuff, you know. Of course, I'm sure that has a little bit to do with the fact that I, like, you know, being in a relationship, you know, I'm not out here on the hunt. So like, I mean, city life is a little less appealing, but you know, it is what it is. So if you have some suggestions of places to go, okay, you know, I want it to be diverse, but, you know, I don't want to be like, you know, the only black person in the room, you know, I want the economy to be, you know, decent or whatever, you know, but, you know, so if you got some suggestions, give them to me. Anyway, I think that's all that I want to talk about. Enjoy your Monday. I might do another one of these this week, depending on, you know, how shit go. But, that's it.
In your favorite city, getting big money, Saturday, Sunday, even though it's Monday, fuck with me every day, be a Monday. Now I ain't gonna send it 'cause you already see it, the way you come back, I can tell that you need it, boy. It's on you, yeah, it's on you.
Yeah. If you like the videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And for more inclusive urban entertainment, hit up www.iconcitynews.com.